So it's locked in. Right. Find it. So, because I got everyone's top six, I can do it now. Now, bearing in mind, yeah, I want to change my top six, yeah. So, what's this one? Sorry, G. So, mine's Man City, Tottenham, Liverpool, United, Arsenal, Chelsea. Now, if I could reverse that, I think I'd move Liverpool to fifth. I don't see them getting top four in this thing. OTC's got
Whoa, whoa,
City.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Now,
whoa. Hold on. Reverse. Beep, 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 beep. Fam, hold on. You
Pull
got
up,
Man
really.
United in the top four. You got Man United above Arsenal. Is this?
right. Now, so here's my thing. Arsenal's fixtures coming up for October are a madness. Now, when I did my research, they got a lot of them same big teams in like the last 10 games of the season as well. So that was my thinking because like, I even said that to us yesterday. So when I was looking at the fixtures, Arsenal, because I said to him at that time it was between Arsenal, United, and Chelsea, and I started looking at the fixtures. Then obviously me and G have spoken about Arsenal's fixtures for October previously. So I thought, okay, let me see what like the last 10 games of the season are looking like. And I think in the last 10, I'll check it now, but I'm pretty sure I know there's City, I think there's Liverpool, and I want to say Chelsea, and I think West Ham are amongst their last 10. Because it was only when I looked at the fixtures, I thought, because we already discussed that we think, me and G were saying we reckon Arsenal's little patch where they have a bad run will be October, because obviously the games are coming thick and fast. Like I say, so when I decided, let me look further ahead at what the fixtures were saying, they have, like I say, they pretty much have the same fixtures for October towards the back end of the season, which is where I think they'll drop points. But like I said, if I could have changed it now, looking at Liverpool, I would put them fifth.
It's early days though, boys. I mean,
No,
Liverpool
but as
are
I'm
what?
saying,
Yeah,
it's a
eight
tough
points or
one,
10 point, 12 points behind City, and they nearly
and
won it,
they've got
bro. They're
no
still young.
midfield. Yeah, but they've
Yeah,
got no midfield right now. And boy, the way Milner was looking today,
he's looking
it,
washed, bruv. He's looking
you know
washed,
what's
that guy,
funny? And you know who's funny? Oz, because it was just earlier. Oz tried to send me and Dan something with Milner, and I was just like, this isn't the same Milner that's been dribbled past the most in the league so far.
bro.
And he was thinking, and he was like, oh shit, come back to bite me. And it did. Like, it's proper come back to bite him. But like I say, I think
Bruv.
now we're seeing that they're really going to struggle. I didn't think it was going to be the case. I thought they'd be able to push on, but looking at it, I think they're really going to struggle. So that, like I say, that was my only
Yeah,
rational. But with Dan, I wanted him to be here because I don't know who he's fifth and who he's sixth is because he literally just put fifth and sixth Chelsea, Arsenal. Like I actually don't know what his one was. Like I say, I would want him to explain it because I can explain my rational thinking behind changing to put United in there. But I don't. Again, I don't know what Dan's was because then we got what OTC's got: City, Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, United. And I credit to OTC because after yesterday's result, he sent me back his thing. He's like, I'm changing it because
OTC, you
Chelsea
got
went from
Chelsea
third to
outside the
fifth.
top four, yeah?
And they went from third to
We're
fifth.
shit, bro. We're shit, bro. Big man thing. Yeah, we're not as shit as Man United, bro. We're bad, bro. Yeah, Man
No,
United
but
are.
see, it is because I was listening. Was it Talksport I was listening to? And they were basically talking about the transfer windows.
Mm,
And I would say, like, whilst I don't agree Man United won the transfer window, I
mm,
still say for me that was Arsenal and Chelsea. No, sorry, the Arsenal and Tottenham, sorry. I do think the players Ten Hag has brought in has been play areas where I've said that they probably needed to fill, like Malacia coming in, he challenges Luke Shaw at left back. And I remember even before the season started, I said once Malacia gets in, I don't see a way back in for sure. And the way he's playing now, I don't
mm.
see a way back in for sure. I think Shaw's hopes of even going to the World Cup, those are now pushed to the side. Like that's going to be a scrap between probably three, between Chilwell, I even forget the other brother's name, and then Tyreek Mitchell. I think those three. Who was
Oh,
it?
that
Who's
left
England's
that
other left back?
that light skin brother. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but yeah, I think between them
Oh,
three. Is it Trippier?
not
Not
Trippier.
Trippier.
I mean, you know, Gareth may play Trippier. Depends how he wants to play. If you got, to be fair, I think Trippier can play there as well. It's not that
Yeah.
deep.
No,
But
so like I say,
Chilwell,
I think Man United have identified areas. Like I say, there's still weakness in that team. But the fact that he's now dropped players and isn't giving players that easy walk back in, and like I say, it's only the last 4 games, but they've been able to grind out. Like the Liverpool one, they was able to see it out. Who did they play after that? They had the one that was it Southampton?
Leicester and Southampton. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Southampton one, they was grinding out the victories. So, like I say, overall, I think long term, like for the rest of the season, it's just going to be if they can keep that same 11 and he doesn't chop and change. I think that team, the way they're set up now, is the way he wants to play. So
yeah, but aren't they riding their luck? Because I think
I struggle to find out
but
you
you
can
always
think that 11 is better than like. Do you know what I mean? Like, but better like I
no, like
think we got a better starting 11. We're more of a team. We play football.
you do.
Like
You know the
United,
issue I say I have with Arsenal.
those
Go
players
on.
have let United down for 2-3 years now. Like they're, you know, I think, yeah, they've managed to get a few good results and fair play to them because beating Liverpool and Arsenal is always good, bro. There's no two ways to say it. But those players, I don't know, like Roy Keane said, they're bluffers on the bus, mate. You can't, you know, they're not going to change their spots, bro. They will, at some point in the season, they will start to ship goals again and everyone will be moaning about, you know, the same man that are just letting them down. Because I think obviously they brought Anthony in and Casemiro, Martinez, and bruv, Martinez, he's done all right in these games, but trust me, when he comes up against Tony and Kane and these man, you're going to see what's what, man. I agree with a lot of the professionals who've identified that he can be targeted. So we'll see what happens.
He probably could. One second. Yeah, I think he could, but then at the same time, I think we won't know until we see him in that kind of situation. Like I say, you wouldn't expect like what Joachim Anderson did to Nunes. It was easy to rile him up, and you're going to see teams try to do that. Whereas you wouldn't necessarily expect it at this level for a player to be so easily agitated in literally everything he did. So, like I say, I think once we get to it, I think if he's defending like the likes of Haaland, then I think that's when we'll see what kind of level he's at.
Yeah, I mean, they brought in Ten Hag. Ten Hag doesn't play Solskjaer counter-attack football, bruv. He because they got spun, he's basically finding a formula to get results. But that's not why they brought Ten Hag in, bruv. They didn't bring him in to park the bus and then hit Rashford and Sancho on the counter. So at some point, you know, I think they're going to have a bit of an identity crisis, and we'll see, man. You know, we'll see if they get a top 4. You know, fair play, but you know, I still think that I don't know. I just think like Arsenal are a bit more of a unit. They understand what the game they want to play, how they want to play, and
I agree with that.
I just think, I think that come the end of the season, we were 1 point off it last year. I think this year we can do it, bro. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens, man. You're on mute, Carl. You're on mute, bruv.
No, so that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. I think it's going to be. It was only down to the fixtures, like at the back end, for the back end of the season, which is what swayed my decision. Because it's like I say, Arsenal are great going forward and everything, but I think their real issue is when they're in that final third at the moment. It's actually the execution in the box. Like Jesus, like there's the United game, and who did you not play before United?
Villa. I was there for that game.
Villa. There was chances even in the Villa game where he could have hit it better, but he wasn't catching his shots properly. So I think at the moment in the final, and I think I'm not really liking when he's dropping deep neither, because he drops a bit deep and then to thing. Whereas I think if he was just up front, I think he'd probably have that bit more. But because he is dropping a bit too deep, sometimes I think he's just behind play of where he actually needs to be. Which is why I say I think.
I don't know. I mean, the commentators were saying, you know, like after an hour, they were saying like he's the best player on the pitch. You know what I mean? Because he was looking good against United, bruv. Like he was looking like a monster, man. Like literally, Varane and Martinez.
If he
Every
had
time the
someone
ball was
over
played
him
up
in
to
that
him, he's just
game,
trapping it out of the sky, bruv, holding them
that's what I'm
off.
saying. If he had someone up
Yeah.
front with him in that game, I think you lot probably would have done a bit better because he was able to hold the ball up, bring it up, but there was
Yeah.
no one pushing on from him. So he was just essentially just holding it, waiting for everyone to catch up, which is where again I think it was a weakness on that day. Whereas even though you lot was playing good, I think again in the final third, it's a few issues which probably could.
We were wasteful, man. Saka missed the easy chance. Martinelli, Odegaard, Saliba. These are all like between 6 and 12 yards out. We missed those. If we were 3 or 4-0 out, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But
Because
the fact is
was
we
it
didn't.
Villa
We didn't
Hayes who scored the goal where he whipped it into the corner? The game
so
against
I was
Villa
at the game. Jesus scored a tap in that game. Villa scored straight from the corner in that game.
Yeah.
Villa's Douglas Luiz scored straight from the corner.
Who was his first goal against?
His first goal was.
Leicester?
Did he score
Bournemouth.
against Palace? Did he score against Palace in the first?
No,
he didn't score against Palace. I think it might have been Leicester. I swear he scored a good goal where he kind of cut into the box and hit it.
The one that he chipped put in the far corner, man. That was a nice goal.
Yeah,
I think that was either Fulham or I think that was either
Leicester.
Fulham or
It was Leicester. Yeah, it was Leicester. That was the goal I was thinking of.
Oh, that 4-2 result.
Yeah, because that goal I was impressed with.
Yeah.
So like I say, if he gets into them kind of position, because that's not a position you was expecting him to score from. So I think 9 times like with him, the shots you think he should score seems like the ones he's missing. Like I say, the shot against Leicester, I wouldn't have expected it to go in, but it turned out to be a quality goal.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, it's early. It's all up for discussion, isn't it? It's one of them things. Like, I just, like I said, I think having watched,
like I say, it was split with who was top 4 between Arsenal and Man United, because I think the second one now.
But United, I mean, they've spent 250 million since we last.
They should improve.
Put our predictions in, so they've strengthened, haven't they? To be fair.
So Oz has got them third. Oz has City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham, United, Chelsea, whereas you have City, Liverpool,
pagans, bro.
Tottenham, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, and then Asher has City, Liverpool, Tottenham, United, Arsenal, Chelsea. See, Dan and Ash was always going to do that one, whereas now OTC, it's not really looking good, Because other than
OTC, you put Chelsea in fifth blood. You put your own team in fifth blood. So
everyone else has them like 6th though. OTC and
5th and 6th doesn't really. What's
OTC and again, Dan's not really clarified who's 5th or 6th with his, but it was only you or potentially Dan that have had them finishing.
Miles, Dan had United in the top 3 before we first done our predictions, bro. So there's no need to hear that. We kind of know.
I said 6th at that, and I said I'm waiting to see the transfer window close. Like I said, I kind of pretty much locked mine in from yesterday, and then seeing Tuchel's been sacked today, it kind of gives me justification for my 6th. So that's the only thing I'll say. Like that kind of gives me a little bit of justification on that one, but again, it's a weird one.
Who's OTC got in the top 4?
He's top 4. It was it's relegation teams. Wrong one. He's in the top 1. City, Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal.
Okay.
Everyone's dropped Liverpool down who had Liverpool winning. Although OTC, I don't think had Liverpool winning at any point anyway.
No, to be fair to OTC, from day
actually,
he said Liverpool going to finish 4th from day OTC.
Yeah, and say he was the only one. He didn't actually have them in the top 2, so I'll give him that one. He stuck to his guns on that one. But mind you, like I said, he had Chelsea finishing 2nd originally, weren't it?
No, it was Tottenham.
Was it 2nd or 3rd?
I think Chelsea. I had Chelsea finishing 3rd, and then Tottenham 2nd. And
that would.
So and then Arsenal 5th. Well, what I've done is I pushed Chelsea all the way back down to 5th, brother, and I pushed everybody back up. Apart from Man United, because they're shit.
So come on, man, you got to tell us about Chelsea, bruv. You got.
We'll get to that. We'll do that one last because let's do relegation because OTC needs to give some relegations. So everyone pretty much has Everton.
Look at Dan. Look at Dan.
Orin Asher. He's again. I needed justification on that. So I got Everton, Bournemouth, Leicester. Dan's got Everton, Fulham, Leicester finishing 18th. then Bournemouth, then Forest. Then Oz has got Everton, Leicester, Bournemouth. G's got Forest, Bournemouth, Everton.
I didn't put
Ash's
mine
got
in order. I
Forest.
just gave the 3 teams, to be fair. I
Okay, so I
didn't
just put
realise you wanted it in
in whatever
order.
order.
Yeah.
So then I put Forest, Bournemouth, Leicester. I just did it in whatever order people put the top team. I took that as being the least likely to be relegated.
Do you think Leicester going to go down, yeah?
I do.
Mad, bruv, if Leicester go down,
I
you know?
do. And you know what it is? It's not because Brendan Rodgers is a bad manager. Like, I think it's hard for him now because he's had things taken away but not been able to put back in. And I think with COVID, I think they was one of the worst hit teams. Because remember, the owners, their money comes from the company's duty free. So when obviously the travel industry took a big hit, which took probably the biggest hit, they lost a lot of
that
money
must
in
be
that.
why, because I was bantering with Dan
Yeah,
saying when the pups had that helicopter crash, the sun has just been
so they still had money
spending, but that's why then, yeah.
Because I was listening to, was it Sky Sports I was listening to, and they was basically saying, so I knew originally, like I already knew that they was part of like the duty free trains you see in the airports, but I didn't actually take into account that obviously there was no travel. So obviously no one's going free and really using duty free like that. So you're not making that big incomes that you was probably getting previously. So obviously it did take a hit, but obviously it hit them a lot harder than they was probably anticipating. And because like even with the Fofana sale, they was only getting a third of the money to actually reinvest back into the squad.
A third? How comes?
I don't know what the ins and outs was, but when I was listening, I think it was Sky Sports. It was basically saying the owners are only going to free up like a third of that transfer fee.
Well, like I was saying, they were the only club who didn't
Ah.
sign someone, and you said, "Oh, they signed that defender," but that was on the last. That was on like.
But apparently that move was in the works. Wait, in the works, we'll say, because that's how they tried to spin it. Like they was really working on it, but it just seemed like once the Chelsea confirmed the deal for Fofana, the move kind of sped up.
Right, Leicester are broke, like MC Hammer broke, fam. You know, like that.
They have the thing, you know, it is, and I think their thing was when they opened the academy it was basically to reinvest from like the youth and come through. But
no, because I'll keep it real. I think for the last probably 5, 6, 7 years, Leicester, their model of how to manage a football club has been done. They've done really well. They won a league, they won an FA Cup, they brought fantastic players in, sold well,
so they bought cheap.
But it's all fallen apart, and maybe now I know why. Now I know why, maybe because of what you said, Miles. That their money comes from the duty-free thing, bruv, and that's dried up.
But remember, they did the academy to basically start bringing the talent through. So obviously, they got one of the best academies in like state of the art and everything. So I think the ambition was probably to bring players through, but I can't think of any players off the top of my head that you're seeing them like roll out and.
Bruv, it's dried up. It's dried up like that well Oz was going to on holiday, bruv, in Zimbabwe. It's dried up, bruv. I'm telling you, there's nothing there, bruv. There's nothing there.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's a weird one.
Them buckets of water.
Oh, no. I was like, blood, are you on holiday or what? What's going on here, bruv? Like, seriously.
I was just looking 2 miles from
give him credit because he wasn't staying in no hotel, innit?
Rob, it's like Liverpool's midfield right now, isn't it? That,
where is it? Let me just check some quickly because I wouldn't say I can't think of none of their players that are like really coming through to say, yeah, like
the thing is, I agree they're struggling, but to have them relegated, sorry, Miles, that's a big,
it is.
That's a big call, blood. You know what I'm saying?
But they're not looking good in games.
They're not. Yeah, you got.
And like I say,
no 2 ways about
again, I'm not saying it's a Brendan Rodgers thing, but obviously, when you actually correlate that all in, like at some point, you're then going to need to change the manager. Like I say, I witnessed it with Palace. We lost in 2007. Was it 16-17 season? When we bought Frank de Boer in, we lost the first 4 games, didn't score a goal. And I always said
that guy was fraudulent, boy.
It wasn't that he was fraudulent. What I said was the owners basically said they want to basically change the style of play and everything, which I was all for, understood it. But the issue I had was he wasn't kind of given the funds needed in order to implement the style he wanted to bring in. So it was a weird one because, like I say, we lost. I forget who our first game was in that season. I know I was at the game. And then I know we had Liverpool in the second game, and I think they beat us 1-0. Yeah, it was 1-0. And I think Luca tried to clear it, and it ricocheted and fell to a Liverpool player, and they scored. And I forget who the third game was. And then I know the fourth game was Burnley. And I think we
I
lost
think you played the Mourinho teams. I remember Mourinho was cussing him off or something. Do you remember that, bro? He was
No, so then
like,
we lost to Burnley, and then obviously Steve Parish come out and basically said they're gonna stick by him, they're not gonna sack him, blah blah blah. Then I remember waking up in the morning and seeing Frank de Boer's been sacked. And I was like, well, my man said last night you was gonna stand by him, and like his job was kind of safe. And then
bro,
obviously
it's called a dreaded vote of confidence, man. It's the
Roy
dreaded
Hodgson
vote
was
of
50
confidence.
bought in. And my thing was from the start of that season, we should have bought Roy Hodgson in to begin with. Because at that time, the way our system was set up was a Roy Hodgson system. So it would have worked. And then I think we lost two more games. Well, we lost 2 games under Roy when he first came in. And then we played Chelsea and then beat Chelsea. Chelsea was the first game we won. And I think we lost a few. But like I say, I've seen it where they just need someone. If someone comes in now, you need them to be able to work with that group of players. And I don't know
Who can
how good
motivate
that
them?
group of players is to bring someone in to actually get that kind of form. Because what are they on, like 1 point? Yeah, look, they're
To be
on
fair
one
to
point.
Dan, what you were saying the other day about Ndidi, he doesn't look comfortable at the back there, bro. I think I agree with Dan on that one. He looks like he's got a mistake
A
in him
lot
all
of
the
them
time, bro.
players look. I don't want to say it's a lack of confidence, but like I say, I think not being able to freshen up the squad is coming back to hinder them. It's like Liverpool didn't really bring no one in, like, and look at them now. The midfield is shaky as fuck.
To me, I thought they
Like
were quite
they're
unlucky
falling like
against
flies.
United, though, Leicester. I thought they were quite like United got scabbed that 1-0 against them, man. It was a
Yeah, but
pretty
that's what I'm
tight
saying. That's the
game.
difference. I think previously last season, Man United wouldn't have scraped that 1-0. Like they definitely wouldn't have scraped that because didn't they lose their last 4 games? I think it was I know they definitely lost against us, and I think they lost against Brighton. Now it might have been their last 2 games and their first 2 games of this season, which made the 4. But they didn't really look like a team. Because like I say, even the game against Palace, I remember while I was there, I think it was Hannibal. But some of them players were beefing with each other. Like they just wasn't a team. And you could just see it didn't look like a nice environment to be in. Because I'm looking at the
It's
players.
all going to come out in the wash again, bruv, because 80% of that squad's still there, bruv. So
Yeah,
I'm
because
telling
look at
you
it. Phil
now,
Jones has stood the test of times. Phil Jones is the only player still left at that squad besides David De Gea, who's actually been there since Fergie left. And
yeah, but
just to
they made
think
some
under the last few
terrible
managers,
signings,
he's not
bruv,
really
haven't they?
played.
They got the
Yeah, but
highest wage bill in Europe
you
or
know, it's
something, practically,
well,
man.
I
Like,
was saying that I said that to Dan. That's why I think they need to have a clear out because when you actually look at United, it's just like they threw money to get players through the door. And I don't think it was the right strategy. But then
yeah,
again,
but Carl,
it's
we had a clear out, but ended up having to pay man to leave because they're on like big wages.
stupid
No one's going to
wages.
sign them. So, and United are going to have to do the same, brother. They just have to go. You know what? We owe you 10 million in wages. Here's
That's
six.
basically what they were
Here's six.
saying with
Get out.
Ted Bowley, because obviously Gary Neville brought it up in it. It's like you've
Todd
got
Bowley.
non-football people doing football people jobs. I think was it Danny Murphy was basically saying the day they got rid of Petr Cech was the day they knew there was going to be issues because you've taken a footballing guy out and basically you're relying on everything on Tuchel in that sense. But don't worry, OTC, I've got some stuff. We'll get back to that in a second because we'll just finish up the
I'm interested to
relegation.
know, OTC, if did they have to get rid of Czech, Marina, and all them ones there, or was it by choice? So yeah, you just have a little think about that. I want to know about
Yeah,
that,
because
man.
like I say, so pretty much everyone, not that one, everyone's pretty much in the consensus that Bournemouth's getting relegated. And pretty much Leicester is a given. Forest and Everton seem to be the one that splits everyone. and I get Forest, and I kind of get Everton. So those are the
Yeah.
two teams that will be the ones that surprise me. I think Forest would. They're gonna scrape through and be safe. So I think, like I say, it's gonna be interesting to see who secures that last one because, like I say, we're all pretty much unanimous in Bournemouth and Leicester. And then
Not me. I'm putting it out. I'm saying it now. Leicester are going down for me.
But OTC, because you didn't put it in, you might as well tell us you're free to get relegated.
Bournemouth, Leicester are rubbish, but we beat them with 10 men. We beat them with 10 men and we weren't even playing that well. So you know how deep that is? You got to be shit.
That game was missed.
And who else?
Yeah, but you can't base everything on the first 6 games, boys. That's the thing, you know. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I know that
season, bro. It's a long season.
Even Getafe know that. Getafe had their little project Crystal Palace last season. They lost the first 7 games and they stayed up.
Actually, you know what? I'll go Bournemouth, Forest, and Southampton. I think Southampton's time to go down.
Ooh, interesting.
I think Southampton will go down, yeah. But then
I was deliberating between Southampton and Everton. I was actually deliberating between those two, to go down because I think Southampton's luck might run out at some point. But I just think with Everton, it's just. I mean, They have signed a few players. To be fair, I was looking at it. They signed a few players, isn't it, right at the end? But I don't know, man. They don't seem to understand how to play the game, bro. Like all last season, it was clear to see, and I don't think who they brought in is going to be enough to kind of scrape it through. So that's why I went with Everton in the end rather than Saints.
No, but Gary, on that one, in terms of Everton, and this is the thing. The reason why I have Everton staying up is because of Goodison Park. That's the only reason why. I think at Goodison Park and the atmosphere that they have there, and the fact that they can just scrimp and scrape a couple of results here and there, I think that will be enough for them to survive. Whereas
Richarlison got them 11 points last year, OTC, and he's gone now, bro. So the goals he scored, you know, when they do that thing, bro, when they say how many points, the goals he scored. So he was that one player with that little bit of an X factor, like, do you know what I mean? Like, and so I don't think they've really replaced him, bro, have they? I mean, they brought that year after.
Andy Gordon. You know, he's been a decent player for a few seasons, so I understood why people wanted him. Like, I see a lot of people was criticizing him as a potential signing, but I've watched him enough to say there's some serious potential there under the right team with the right manager. I think he'll shine. And he
scored 2 big goals to get them something.
That's what I'm saying. So far this season, he's done the job for Everton, so he's taken on his shoulders. So, like I say, I do rate him as a player.
Yeah,
but now
imagine if he develops and he goes in the last maybe 5-10 games, he goes on a run and starts scoring a bag of goals. You never know. When it comes to young players, when it comes to these,
if you think Calvert-Lewin's still got to come back, if he can get a thing going with Calvert-Lewin,
he's too busy wearing leggings and holding handbags and shit, bro. Honestly, he's some fruity don, bro. Honestly, that rainbow brother, man. Honestly, like when we were linked with him, I was stressed, daily stress, bro. Thinking if we bring this guy in, man, honestly, bro, he's some LGBT hero, bro. Keep that man away from our football club, bro. Honestly,
you always say some bad. Listen, I don't agree. These are the opinions of
G.
Of G.
I'll say on my chest,
reflective of everybody. Yeah, I'm not involved in this, but
But keep him in Liverpool with his handbags, blood. Keep him away from London, bro.
So now we've got the top 6 and the relegated teams done. Let's talk Chelsea OTC.
Yo, fam.
Well,
you got some healing.
That's it.
You got some healing to do.
And
them man have saved you by not being in here, because they was really looking forward to actually being in here.
Fam, what I'm saying is, God is on my side, fam. I swear to God, God's on my side. But anyway, I do you know what? Whilst G is away, I'll talk about the game last night and the game on the weekend. Who did we play on the weekend?
You played West Ham and you won. That was one with the so-called VAR controversy.
Perfect. All right, I'll go through that game first, because that game for me, bruv, we were rubbish, bruv. we were rubbish. Yeah,
I'll get
honestly,
to my thing for Chelsea in a second. So I'll let you run
honest to,
through, and obviously,
yeah, honest to God, against West Ham, we were rubbish. Yeah, it should have been at the end of the day, we should have maybe drawn the game. Did I think that was a foul? I personally believe that that was a foul because watching it from different angles, from especially from the right hand side angle on the camera view, it looked as though Bowen clipped Mendy with the front leg and the back leg. So he clipped him with the front leg and the back leg, and I'm like,
You know the
I
interesting thing with that? Did you watch Ref Watch on Sky Sports or read it?
nah, I did watch that.
So basically, they do it every week, like every Monday and stuff after the thing, and basically they break down. So this week it was basically with all the VAR controversy. So Dermot
Yeah.
Gallagher made a very, very good point because he said watching it live, he didn't think it was a foul, and he still stands by the fact that he doesn't believe it to be a foul. And the goal, he said he would have let the goal stand overall, but he said, and then what he said was because he said when people are watching the replay, they're probably not looking at the referee's position at the time. So what he said was the referee's position at the time of the goal was perfect, and you wouldn't have picked anywhere else to be at the time because he was literally square on watching it directly. So obviously, when he's let it continue, he didn't. He's obviously let it go and he's let it be a goal. But what he was saying was the only thing, the reason that obviously the goal, he can think the goal wasn't given is because they deemed Mendy to obviously have picked up a knock in the process, which means with the goalkeeper being down and injured, you need to stop the play because obviously it's the goalkeeper.
Nah, I
So
don't know
what he
about
was
that.
saying is,
Yeah, but
so what
do you
he's
know
saying
that?
is the goalkeeper of whether he was faking injury or whatever is the only reason, logical reason for the goal not to stand. Because he said the referee had the perfect example, and then when they showed him the VAR, they didn't show him any different angle. They showed him literally the angle he would have seen at the time of play. And
Yeah, but Carl, do you
like
know,
I
like,
say,
obviously that's Dermot Gallagher's view, but do you know that because the Premier League asked the PGMOL, which is the referees, union or whatever, the top, whatever the
yeah,
governing body, the referees, to investigate it, and they've actually come out now and made an official statement and said that decision, the West Ham one and the Newcastle one, were errors. They've come out and officially
no. That's
said
what I'm
that.
saying. No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Dermot Gallagher was saying he would have let the goal stand. But obviously, he said the only reason for it to not be given is if the referee, so the VAR referee at the, because like bear in mind, we got to think the referee in real time only has real time. He doesn't have anything for replays. So what Dermot Gallagher was basically saying in real time, live action, when he's seen it, obviously he's not deemed it to be a foul or the keeper to be injured. So he would have let the goal stand. But obviously, when the VAR have gone to him and said, "Look, I want you might want to check it." So obviously, he's gone over. But obviously, what Dermot
Once they
Gallagher
get
was
called
saying
over,
is,
you know what's going to happen, isn't it? You know.
well, we usually do. It's been Michael Oliver's the first referee not to change his opinion
Well,
on the
actually, the
weekend.
Paul Tierney at Old Trafford, like they were saying in commentary, in it, you could see that he was thinking, I don't really want to disallow that
So
one,
I'll get
but
to that one in a second. But you
yeah,
see, like I say, with the Chelsea one, Dermot Gallagher was basically saying once it got to VAR, he was shown literally the same angle he saw in real time. And the only thing that could have probably swayed him is that Mendy was injured. And obviously, for play to have continue, a goalkeeper can't be down injured because the game has to immediately stop, which is why the goalkeeper is the only player who can receive treatment on the pitch and not have to leave because you have to have a goalkeeper on the pitch, which is what they were saying. Basically, they feel at the time when they've sent him over, they've deemed the goalkeeper to probably be injured.
I hear that, but it was a howler,
I
blood.
don't
I
I
mean,
don't agree
let's
with
not
it
make
because I do
excuses.
think
Yeah,
no,
this is
I think the goal should have stood. It's just like
It's soft. It's soft.
one
I
second.
agree.
It's like even with the Newcastle one,
they
whilst I
very
agree
rarely
they should
come out
have
and
been a goal,
apologise. This is the
no,
first
no,
time
so
they've
that's
done
what I'm
it this
saying.
season. Yeah,
While I agree the Newcastle one should have been a goal, I don't have no sympathy in the sense of I know what that feels like. But when it happened to us, we was robbed of points against Liverpool in the very first season of VAR. We had Liverpool at home. We scored one. So like it come from a corner. There was a push on a player. Don't get me wrong. I think it was Joe Gomez. It was like a little nudge in the back, but even him jumping up was never going to get the ball. Then we scored. It was ruled out for this foul. That he never the ball went over his head. Even as he jumped, he was never reaching it.
But Miles, when it
And
first came out, you can, in my opinion anyway, you can excuse there being teething problems.
no.
I thought last
Side,
season it actually
no one,
worked quite well in the Prem.
so
It wasn't the talk every
Palace
week.
game. No one second. In that same Palace game, in the second
Yeah.
half, a very similar incident happened. Liverpool had a corner, same end. The balls come in, and I
Always
think it
Liverpool, innit?
was Ayew or Schlurp had a possibility to clear the ball, but was pushed out the way by a Liverpool player. And I think it was Van Dijk that scored, which, if he wasn't nudged or pushed out the way, he would have been able to block the ball. He would have stood a chance of being able to defend the shot.
Yeah.
VAR looked at it, VAR gave it. And then you got that cunt that is there in England, who again, last season against Liverpool, the penalty that was given, which the referee in real time never gave. And then when they did the ref watch, everyone was in agreement that Jota dived. Guaita didn't touch him. Well, Guaita didn't initiate contact. He tried to pull out, and Jota went into him, which initiated the contact, which then caused him to go down, which was very dramatic and shouldn't have been a penalty. Like I say, I agree Newcastle's goal should have stood, but at the same time, I know what it feels like to be on the end of one of them decisions
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
that
point I'm
you
making
don't.
is we're 2 years on from that. Like at the start, it was terrible. Every week it seemed like we were talking about VAR.
We still talk
And
about
what
VAR.
was refreshing was, in my opinion, last season it felt like we weren't talking about it as much. But now
Oh no,
this
they
season,
were still, because you know what it is. You still get them stupid decisions. Because was it last?
no,
No, it
you
weren't
still
last
get
season. It
them,
was the
but like
season
it feels
before.
like it's taken over the conversation now. Like literally
But
every
see,
fucking week we're talking about
now
it.
I think with now it's a lot worse because, like I say, the one in the Man United game on Sunday, that one seems to be 50-50 split with how
Yeah, that's
people
subjective.
saw
That's
it.
fine.
So
Yeah.
but I'm saying, but with the new law that,
What about the
the
Man
new
United game last
threshold.
week? The handball like 3 times.
Okay,
He's
so
hitting.
with
He's
the
like juggling
threshold,
it like a clown blood
so
at
with no, but
circus.
with that one, what they were saying is, whilst it would have been, I think they was basically saying a close proximity is obviously what kind of rules that one out. But then it's like in England, if the ball deflects and hits your hand, they don't give it. But in Europe, if the ball, I think they were saying in Europe, if the ball deflects and hits your hand, they will kind of give it as a penalty. Because remember when they brought that stupid handball rule in originally, again,
They
I know what
changed
it
it,
feels
didn't
like.
they? Yeah, yeah.
So it got changed like the week before Palace played Everton during lockdown. Because I remember we was given one against us, but then Everton kind of did the same thing in the second half and it wasn't given because they had changed the law to how they would like enforce it.
Why are they
I
changing
think
the rules? Every
I
year they're
think
changing the rules. What's the point?
no, the other handball rule, when if as long as it hit your hand, it was handball. It was a stupid rule
But
because
why did
I
they come
think
up with that rule to begin with?
Even like our one at Old Trafford, like don't get me wrong, I agree it's subjective. Some people think he should have, been called back. Some people think he should have let it go. But they specifically said this season they want the game to
that's what I'm
flow
saying.
more.
The game was
So
slow more. But I think the reason why it was then called in for review, I think because it led straight to a goal, is what led it to review. Because I think if there wasn't a goal straight away, it wouldn't have. So like when
that's
Chelsea played
inconsistency. You
So you
just
know when Chelsea played Tottenham, and
yeah.
then all the Chelsea fans, oh, but we should have had a free kick, blah 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 blah. The game had gone on for 40 seconds, so it was like you can't bring a game back 40 seconds to
No, but
review
Chelsea
something that
got
was about.
skanked in that game, bro. Like I don't
Again,
like
they
either
came out
Chelsea
and
or Tottenham,
apologized
but
afterwards.
what's that, bro?
Yeah, no, so they came out and apologized after
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. Like
But you know what
so,
I respected more? Mike Dean come out and actually said he made a mistake. That was a referee himself who made the decision come out and say, hands up, I made the mistake.
yeah, he had to. He's a Tottenham fan, though, so he had to, blood. You know
That's
what I mean? So,
exactly,
I
brother.
use
It's
Tranmere.
Anthony
You
Taylor as
see him
well.
at
Anthony Taylor's
Tranmere.
yeah.
huh?
Didn't you see the
Taylor's a
video of
prick.
him at the Tranmere game?
Yeah. When he's like,
Yeah,
I like
but
to see
back
that side of it.
no, but the point
yeah,
I'm trying to make, like, I don't get me wrong. I'm a football fan. I want to enjoy the beautiful game. But what I felt this season, which is why I tagged you into that tweet the other day, is that it just seems that VAR is becoming just taking over the thing again, man. And
It is, but
it's
the issue you have
annoying.
is
Yeah,
the issue you have is because there's no direct black and white. It's subjective. It's interpretation. So whereas you interpreted
yeah, but
the
it's not.
the
It's not.
Arsenal
If
goal
they're
not to
coming
be
out
a
and
foul,
apologising, Carl, if they're coming out and apologising 3 times already. The Chelsea one, the Newcastle one, like
no, I'm saying
they
that's where
fear
the
that
And
issue.
as
Chelsea
such.
one the other day, yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm
So
saying is it's because it's down to interpretation. It's not black and white. And that's what I think the issue is. Because it's not black and white, it's down to interpretation. And then it's like what VAR can actually be brought in and check. I don't
what you're
think
saying is factually correct, but come on, man. We all like whether you're a fan, player, manager, pundit.
no,
Those
but
3
that's what I'm
decisions were
saying.
shocking, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. It's down to interpretation, and everyone's interpretation is different, which is why I said I think it's bad that there's not no clear directive. Because if you have a clear directive and this is black and white, and this is how we're enforcing it, compared to but you interpret it to be a foul, but I don't think it's a foul. So I don't think you should
What? So
review
what
it.
about the hair pull? What about the hair pull for
No, but that's
Fana?
what I'm saying. Again, he's saying he didn't see that. He didn't see it to be a foul, which is why I'm saying I think it leaves an issue. And I personally think you should have VAR officials and then you should have match officials. So let the people that are doing VAR focus on the thing specifically and have things outlined for them, and they specifically do VAR, because you've got normal match day referees going in, and then obviously it changes. Some refs will referee one week because they'll be doing VAR, and again, everything comes down to what your interpretation was. And like I say, I've always felt that's the big issue because
The
everyone's
problem with VAR is,
interpretation is different.
let's say we go to a game, boys. I've been to hundreds of football matches. Like, if a referee misses something in real time, yeah, we all have a moan in the pub after, but you can kind of accept it because it's human error. Referee, it's at a fast pace. They can miss something. But the problem when you have VAR is, you're like, hang on a minute. Human, like they're not. They don't have to worry about the pace of the game because they're watching replays 100 fucking times, whatever it is, and then that's why it becomes an issue, because then people are like, if we're going to have technology, then at least get it right, blood, isn't it? You know what I mean?
So like you
Or
see,
if not, let's just not have technology. You know what I mean?
like the
And
Man United
so,
Chelsea, Man United Arsenal one, I felt in real time it was a foul, but then my thing was when they obviously referred it to VAR. Obviously, VAR is meant to be clear and obvious errors.
yeah.
It took, was it nearly two
Did
minutes?
you
I think
really
they said
think
it
in
was.
real time it was a foul? Like,
In
did you
real time, I felt it was a foul. That's what I'm saying. In
really?
real
Yeah.
time, I felt it was a foul
Yeah,
because I knew he
No
didn't win
one.
the
No
ball.
one.
I
No, so
agree.
I'm
I
that's what
think
I'm
it's a
saying. So
foul.
with me,
Yeah.
but then the issue I had was it took 2 minutes to something to figure out, which is why I'm saying obviously it's meant to come in, and if it's clear and obvious, the fact
Because
that
the
it
only
took so
people that I've
long.
seen who thought it was a foul were the ones who, when they saw that slow mo like 5, 6 times from different angles,
No,
and
so I
oh,
thought,
there
like
was
I
a
say,
little
I
touch
thought
on
in
the
real
leg.
time it was.
Yeah.
But then when I was watching it back, I was like, it's kind of soft. But then in the thing that really kind of
See, I
irked me
struggle to
though,
see how in real
it's
time you
meant
think that's a
to,
foul, because like it just
because I see him go through the back. That's what I'm saying. In real time, I just thought it was a foul. But when I saw the replays, I could see why some people may not have thought. But obviously, it slowed down, which kind of changes the way things are.
it makes the
But for
contact look
me,
more. Yeah.
so for me, because obviously they said if it's clear and obvious, they'll thing. But the fact that it took so long to actually look at and get to it, it couldn't have been
And
clear
the
and
ref,
obvious because
he was close
the
to not.
referee let
He
it
was
play on
close
in
to
real
the first
time.
time ever going, do you know what? You call me over here to look at it, but I
Yeah,
actually
but Michael Oliver did it in the Brentford game. He gave a penalty, and then when they showed
okay.
him the replay, he was like, "No, I'm sticking to my on-field
Oh,
decision,"
really? Has it
and
happened
he gave the
before? Yeah.
penalty.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay. Because
obviously,
Yep.
literally on Saturday, it happened in
yeah.
the Brentford Leeds game. He gave a penalty, and he stuck by his decision. They called him over to look at it and said, "Look, I think you might want to check it," and he was like, "Nah, I'm sticking with my on-field
Okay, because
decision."
in the commentary they're all saying like they
Yeah, it's
like Gary.
100% normally,
They were saying that
but yeah,
they think
no,
might be the
is
first time a ref might not reverse the decision,
yeah,
even though
no,
he's been called over.
on the weekend, Michael
It
Oliver was
happened the
first.
day before, is it? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
but let's let
yeah,
OTC get back to breaking down Chelsea,
yeah.
so I can
Poor
then hit him with
well,
some
we
stuff.
nicked the result against West Ham. Both. I think James should have got red carded. I also think Antonio should have got red carded as well for separate offences. But then it goes to Dynamo Zagreb, bruv. I swear to God, yeah.
I didn't see the
God is
game because so did you lot play bad in the game? Because like I say, I didn't see it because I didn't realize you lot was playing that early. I thought it was 8 o'clock kickoff like the rest of them. I didn't realize you lot
we
was the early kickoff.
as a whole team, we didn't really play bad. Yeah, we just didn't take our chances. They scored, and then they had 10 man in defense, like they parked the bus against us. Yeah, and we got some man, and we brought some substitutes on. Yeah, that everybody's complaining that these men aren't getting enough time. Oh, Hakim Ziyech, Pulisic, these dead ballers from aren't getting the chance, bro. I saw them. Yeah, big man think God is watching me. Yeah, these men are playing against us. I swear to God, yeah, they are paid. What's that thing called? What's those plants here? Those industry plants. They're industry plants here. They're here to sabotage our season, fam. They're not here to progress. And I'm sitting there pissed. Yeah, I'm like, Tuchel, fam. Aubameyang, he got out as well. I think he had like 60 minutes just to get a bit of the cobwebs off as well. He looked a bit rusty, to be fair, because he's been out for quite some period of time. And then you've got Zakaria, who played quite decent as well. But
The
our
one you lot
season,
loaned in.
yeah,
That player you
loan,
lot loaned.
loan with an option to buy him for about 30 million. So if this guy doesn't turn out to be shit, we'll just send it back to Juventus. Listen, return back to centre, fam. Yeah, you man keep him, fam. I will give you the receipt back anyway. But I am pissed off at our players, bro. Big man thing. And then I wake up this morning. I said, fam, hopefully we get a good result against Fulham, yeah? To find out that Thomas Tuchel been sacked. I swear. I went through like 10 different emotions, yeah? I said, hold on a minute. What's going on here, fam? Why? Why has he been sacked? It's been 5 games, yeah? Let me just explain to you the situation.
Yeah, explain
Thomas
that because then I
Tuchel,
got something to speak on with that.
Thomas Tuchel, right, is well, he came into Chelsea after we were like around 7th or 8th in the table with Frank Lampard. He got us to a Champions League win. Okay. He then got us to top 4 at the same season, and he got us to top 4 on his first 2 seasons that he was here. Top 4, right? He got us to 6 cup finals. Every cup final that he's entered, he's got us to like the cup final. And then the ones the only one that he didn't was the Champions League final last year. Every other year he's been got us to a cup final, and of which we only conceded 2 open play goals in all of the 6 cup finals. I think one of them was Leicester, and I can't remember the other one. Yeah, literally, Thomas Tuchel is the reason why we've got a hope and pray that we get into top 4. Honest to God, yeah, this gentleman could have left to Man United. He could have left to Barcelona. He could have left to a bag of teams. Yeah, he decided to stay and train these dead ballers, bruv. Yeah, who can't hit a ball on target. Yeah, who flipping all of this shit. Yeah, and then all I'm hearing as well, there was a little bit of a click here. Werner, Lukaku. Yeah, flipping Timberland. He's an MC. He's not a footballer. He's an MC. Yeah, Lukaku. Yeah. And a couple of other brothers here were saying, "Oh, fam, we feel disconnected. We feel too cool. His love life is affected his mindset. Oh, he's dating a young 21-year-old girl and all of this shit, fam. Yeah,
Is he?
bruv.
Is he though?
I can't. I'm not too sure. But he said that he's dating like someone far younger than him. I think it's probably like mid-20s, but and yeah, like these players have got a problem with it. Big man think these players are pussies, fam. Yeah, straight up. Yeah, all of these man, bruv, they pissed me off, fam. Yeah, what is Thomas Tuchel supposed to do with these ballers that can't hit the ball on target and can't pass the ball from left to right? What is he supposed to do? He's supposed to put on his boots and run into the pitch and warm up, fam. What is he supposed
Well,
to
he
do?
won the Champions League with them, fam. So
Yeah, exactly. He squeezed the lemon from these man and got them to Champions League. These man, I promise you guys, if they left Chelsea right now, they're not good enough. Half of these men to even be mid-table. To even be mid-table, fam. Big man thing. Loftus Cheek and these man, bruv. These men are not good enough to be mid-table. Yeah. Thomas Tuchel, fam, he's been disrespected. Todd Bowley, big man thing here. I was back in the sky. I said, listen, Todd, you'll do your thing. And right now, I'm annoyed at him. I'm annoyed at Todd already.
It's interesting because a lot of people were calling in Talk Sport and basically saying that that surprisingly a lot of fans were totally against the decision of actually sacking him. They didn't believe he should have been sacked. But then the interesting thing I found was obviously because it was his 100th game. Obviously, it was coming up to 100 days that they've been in charge, and basically Simon Jordan was either Simon Jordan or Jim White was basically saying they're trying to like Americanize it in the way of bringing success and stuff in. But then what I found interesting was listening to Rio Ferdinand on his channel, because then I looked it up. Only back end of August they was talking about extending his contract, and the issue where I find it to be a bit weird was apparently this wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. It's actually something that's been going on in the back. So where did we get from contract extension to suddenly, oh, it's been in the works for a minute? So it's not just based on last night's result.
It's like
So like I said, I think it's a bit iffy.
Yeah, with that, yeah,
Can I
I
just
don't
say,
know why.
Can I just say, as I said last week, like on here, I saw it coming, bruv. Like I could see that it was, it wasn't working there, bruv. And that's why I said it, bruv. That's why I said it. I think he's gonna.
Like I say, then you got to also look at. Then I think
I said
someone
it
was
again
basically
last night. Do you
saying,
remember last night on the group chat? I said I tagged you. I said, remember what I said last week?
yeah.
Tuchel was gonna get the boot at some point, bruv.
But then, like someone said, do we think the signings were his? Other than Aubameyang, do we really think them signings were basically down to Tuchel, or was it Tom just being Tom? Because like they were
that's
saying,
the crazy thing, Carl.
there's no direct
Chelsea
They were all
have spent the most money any team has ever spent in the window, 280
and
million.
he's not even been given the opportunity really to kind of bed these players in. So it's not like you lot are sitting like bottom half of the table or anything. Like you lot have points on the board. So it's a bit weird that obviously this has now come in. Now this team's got to get up for someone else. It's funny because Richard Keys said the same thing I said in the group chat this morning. I was like, hey, are we going to give Emma a chance? Because she can't be any worse. Emma Hayes, you lot's women's manager.
Hayes. Oh, the women's coach.
Yeah, so I'm saying because apparently they're getting. I think there's some coaches or stuff they're going to take over for the remaining thing.
If you have Emma Hayes on a touchline, OTC, I swear to God, bruv, you better turn up about 50 Cent in a bulletproof vest next week because honestly, bruv, I'm telling you now, fam, I'm tired tonight. That's why I'm not doing like an actual damn tired. But next week I will shell the fuck out of you, blood. If you got Emma Hayes standing there on the touchline,
she isn't a bad manager. She's a very good manager. But
she's not.
Someone
But
did raise the point. No, someone raised that point.
Over Aubameyang, bro, telling him like what to do, bro. It's gonna be
in charge of that team until you sign someone, and then obviously look at the candidates because the first thing I said was Poch and Zidane, and obviously the Potter talk come out, and then I found it weird because I thought, all right, at this point, let me just digress and listen to some Sky Sports news while I'm at work, like to see what I go on with this. Then obviously I moved on to TalkSport, but it was when I was listening to it on Sky News. They was reeling off who the bookies' favorites was. So at one point it was I want to say he was favorite according to Sky.
Potter, isn't it? They're happy to pay the 20 mil.
Potter wasn't the favorite originally, I don't think. So I think
it could have been TalkSport within an hour of Tuchel getting sacked.
So obviously they contacted. They was talking about contacting Brighton. So
within
then
an hour, happened within an hour, Carl.
Yes. Then by the time I actually obviously got to tuning in. I'm not gonna paraphrase because I'm not sure I can't remember who they said was the favorite before Potter. And obviously, once they come out, obviously they was talking to Potter. It went for I think it was Potter, Poch. So I think it might have been Poch's favorite originally, and then obviously when the Potter talk come out, Potter was then made favorite, followed by Poch, followed by Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers was third favorite to be manager this morning when after the news broke out.
No, Muller, this is a
which I thought was mad. And then I think it could have been Simon Jordan. He goes, it's not really a bad shout when you think about it. Like he might be bottom with Leicester, but then when you factor in Leicester's issues at the moment and whatnot, you can't really result them down to Brendan Rodgers fully. But then at the same time, I was like, can you imagine Rodgers coming through that door, being bottom with Leicester? That fan base will go crazy.
They'll go crazy. But I think Brendan Rodgers is actually a decent manager, but he's not Chelsea level, bro. You know, he's decent.
But like the weird thing I said was I thought Zidane and Poch, and then lo and behold, as like while I'm sitting there, there's talks. They're looking to speak to both Poch and Zidane.
Yeah. Well, Poch, from what I heard, because I was driving back from HMP Stamford Hill, I listened to TalkSport for 3 hours on the way back, brother. And so they've had the chats with Potter, like the official talk, like they're happy they approached Brighton, done it all properly, and so everyone's sort of jumping on saying now they think it's going to be him, but there's still planned talks with Pochettino as well to come. So
and
it's
Zidane,
it's not 100% like done with Potter, even though
sorry,
everyone's sort of jumping.
OTC. I need to quickly do something, because I think Ash should be here in some form of sense. So let's just bring up the picture. And I know you saw that one. It would be rude not to bring him in some way.
Big bad thing, yeah. Oh, fam. Oh my goodness, fam. Let me just.
You know, when you send them voice notes, I knew there was issues, because for you to send voice notes, you really had something to get off your chest. And I'm listening to, I think it was the first or second one. I was like, fam, you sound like you need a hug, fam. You sound like you was ready to just let the tears out.
My head is gone. Sorry, guys. My head.
I had to tweet, like, if anyone sees OTC, just give him a hug. I felt like doing the same for Oz earlier when Liverpool was getting slapped up. I thought
this is deep.
But the way OTC's been talking brazy, bruv, like with his chest, bruv, telling us to be scared of some scout.
You know what I love about OTC?
You know, like that.
Strong and strong.
Bruv, it's a mad thing. And
let me talk about.
I bullied OTC into deleting a message on the group chat. Do you remember when he put like Todd has done a madness better than Roman? I said, if you don't delete it, blood. If you don't delete it, blood, honestly, I'm gonna.
I remember seeing that message flash up, and as I was trying to read it, it said this message has been unsent. I was thinking, shit.
He went, it's gone, fam, it's gone. I was like, delete that now, blood.
No, but back to the topic at hand in terms of the candidates. Listen, big man thingy. I'm gonna be as honest as possible. Who are these men compared to Thomas Tuchel? And this is my problem, fam. This is my biggest problem. Line them all up here, and I bet you bottom dollar, Thomas Tuchel won more than all of these men combined. Yeah, Brendan Rodgers, Potter, and I'm not talking about Brendan Rodgers as an assistant. I'm talking about as a first team coach. Brendan Rodgers, Potter, Pochettino. Line them all up here.
What have they won? They won one FA Cup. That's it. One second.
Bruv.
Here's
and a couple of Scottish trophies as well. Bruv, come on,
success, man. Was that not done in the French league?
No, don't get me wrong. Yeah, the French league, the German league. The French he won the German Super Cup. He won the Bundesliga. He won the German Cup.
Yeah, I know he won the German Cup.
He won League and he won the domestic cup. And he came to Chelsea with the Champions League and won the Super Cup and the Club World Cup. Bruv, these men cannot step to Thomas Tuchel.
Wait, one second.
I don't want Pochettino. If Todd gets Pochettino, my head will go, guys. Again, my head will go even worse. Yeah.
Oh, one second, man. One second. Basically, on Thomas Tuchel, yeah, I've just seen it pop up. It's the Sun, so we got to take it with a pinch of salt. Man said, Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel left with a 13 million payoff yesterday after losing his grip on players who gossiped about his private life. 13 mil,
bruv. Don't get me.
I heard he begged for a second chance. He was shook, bruv, that they sacked him in a 10-minute call, and he was begging for a second chance. He was like, but you know what I would see? The reason why I said it last week, and you were looking at me like, bruv, you know what I mean? But the reason why I said it is because the problem is, if you're not performing on the pitch, you can't be running your gums like that, because I know you're the manager, don't get me wrong, but there's the owner, blood. You can't be talking to man like, you can't, there's a certain way. Like, look at what Scott Parker, what he done for Bournemouth. He got them all the way up. He got no money. But as soon as he outed the owners by saying we haven't signed up players, they sacked him, bro. Within 2 hours after the game. Because the thing is, you're like, hang on a minute, I own this motherfucker. Yeah, you work for me, rude boy. You understand? So don't come out in public and start quoting me and saying this and that. And he got a little bit. As much as he's a good coach, Tuchel got ahead of his station, blood. He was talking like he was a big man, fam. You know what I mean?
No, he was right. Tuchel was right, fam. These players are rubbish, fam. Yeah, he said we're not going to win the league with these same dead ballers, fam. Yeah, all Chelsea fans are saying it, and he's saying it, fam. We're all in unison. All of us Chelsea fans and Thomas Tuchel, yeah, we're all on the same page. These are.
Yeah, but then they just gave him 280 million, blood. They gave Tuchel 280 million.
Issue comes with it. Why would you get rid of it? That's what I'm saying. Because of the transfer window, that's why it seems crazy.
Crazy blood.
One game after the transfer window closed. And obviously, you look again, it wasn't a pretty win, but you won the game. Okay, I get you lost to Zagreb. Like Real
In the
Madrid
first
lost
game
their
of the
first-
group stage. In the
Didn't Real
first game of
Madrid
the
lose
group
their
stage.
first group game against that Sheriff team last season?
Yeah, they did.
And
And they won
obviously
the
they went
Champions
on
League
to win the
after.
Champions League.
Yeah, but
Like I
OTC,
said,
did you see his post-match interview after
I saw
Zagreb? Did you
it.
see
He
it?
did say they needed to all him. No, but that's why I kind of liked it. Listen to it because he said himself included, they all was a bit. Was it basically along the lines of saying they were soft?
Yeah, but
And
the thing
and
is,
they need to
it's
stand
not.
up.
You're not going to motivate. Like
No,
it's
you
been
ain't. But I
happening for
think
15 games now, Carl. That's why I put that thing up the other day.
No, but Gary,
no,
that's
but
not the
this is what I'm saying.
problem.
I think
That's
with
not
the
the
start
issue.
of the season, but I think because you allowed him to spend so much, you should have also at the same time given him that little bit of leeway to another 2 or 3 league games to try and get things clicking. Because obviously now the
I
games
agree.
come
Don't
thick
get me
and
wrong.
fast.
I agree,
It's
but listen,
weekend, midweek, weekend, midweek. That's what it is now. And Chelsea are going into this now, weekend with no manager, then a Champions League game, then a league game, then Champions League game. And they don't know how long it's going to take to get a
Miles,
manager.
listen to me. I agree with you 100%. The point I'm trying to make is the reason why Scott Parker and Tommy, the two
Scott
Kenyan
Parker's
brother,
one though.
got
He
chopped
was speaking.
because
He come out every week
you're
against
not the
that.
owner, blood. You can't be coming out and just letting your tongue
I
go like
think,
that.
no, but I think
You know,
Thomas Tuchel,
and that's why they got
not having,
sacked. That's why
but
they
he
got
don't have
sacked.
football people, and I think that's where the big issue is going to come down. He don't have football people helping him run that club, and
Yeah,
for
and
me,
everything he said is true. But what you got to understand is there's a hierarchy. You're not the owner, bruv.
Yeah.
You're the manager. You
Once
can't
again,
be just.
I get what you're saying,
So
but with
this
Chelsea,
guy,
there's no hierarchy.
has
It's
given
Todd
you
and
280
Tuchel.
million, the record transfer window, and you still want to come out and start like bumping your. Like there's a, what's the word, man? It's.
I think there's signings in there that he didn't really want.
No,
And I
no,
think,
no.
I think
Who wanted them?
there's signings in
Todd.
there.
Who wanted them? There's no one else there, Carl. So who
I
wanted
think
them
Todd
then?
wanted them. No, I think Todd was just flexing muscle. Because let's
So
look
who
at
then?
it. Let's
Which
break
ones?
down their
Which ones do you
players.
think Todd? Which ones do you think Todd wanted then? Which ones then?
Let's reel off their players. Because let's be honest, I doubt he really wanted that loan brother. Because what was that final day of the transfer window again?
No, that was Tuchel. Tuchel wanted it.
That's too cool. Well, Todd
That's
doesn't know
Tuchel.
about it. He's like, come on, Carl.
No,
man.
I reckon there's names
Todd's got
put
his place.
there.
Todd's got
I'm
his
saying
place.
I reckon
Todd's
there's
an
things.
analyst.
Because look how Todd was going on as soon as the window started. The
Todd
only one
wanted
I'll say
Neymar and
is,
Ronaldo, and man, he wanted a statement signing, bruv. Come on,
yeah,
man.
so that's what I think. That's what I think he was trying to do this summer. I think he's tried to flex his muscle, and this is where I think it's going to come back to bite Chelsea. Because, like I said, there's no football people around him. Football is different to American sports. Yeah, you've got knowledge
So
of
answer
running
my question.
sports,
Of that 280 million, those players, tell me which ones it was Todd rather than Tuchel. Answer that question, then.
Who was all their transfers?
Now that you said you think it was Todd,
the only one that was the only couple that was from Todd and not Tuchel was like that the £1 million, the £2 million goalkeeper that was from Chicago or something like that. Is these sort of man?
No, but that's 1 million. I'm talking about 280 million, all those superstar, like the big players you bought. So Carl said he thinks it was Todd rather than Tuchel. So now just tell me, innit? Like,
I don't think he was responsible. Like he wanted all them players because let's be honest, some of them players don't even seem like they make sense. Like I say, that loan brother makes no sense to me.
Let's
anyway.
talk about the big signings, brother. 280 million, like the big names.
I'm trying to get the thing up now to
which ones were Tuchel? Which ones were Todd rather than Tuchel? Because I think,
like I say, I think Aubameyang Todd Tuchel wanted. I reckon Aubameyang he wanted.
That's right.
And the defenders, he knew he lost Christensen and Rudiger. He knew Tuchel knew he needed defenders, so he wanted Fofana, Koulibaly. He wanted defenders to replace the guys.
But then I think also the issue was, and why I say Todd, because I think, let's be honest, if you're going into the thing, bearing in mind you knew you've lost Rudiger, you've known you've lost certain man, wouldn't you want your business done pretty much straight away? Let's be honest, like he knows what he's losing already. Because the man he lost was free transfer, so they had already agreed before the deal even went through. So, like I say, I reckon there's some man that maybe Tuchel probably didn't want, but I think
tell me the names of the big money signings. Tell me,
Why is this thing taking so long to load up?
I mean, I can tell you the signings off the top of my head. I know all of them. So you got
Okay, here we go.
Let's go through them. Sterling, Tuchel.
Sterling, I think he would have wanted and taken. So we got Cucurella. Do I really think he wanted Cucurella? I personally don't think so.
No, Todd
But that's
wanted
just
him.
personal.
I mean, not Todd. Tuchel wanted him.
Tuchel wanted him because Chilwell's injured all the time, blood.
Yeah, Tuchel wanted
dismissed.
Then
Next,
the young brother from Aston Villa. Wait, the young brother
Sterling.
from Aston Villa.
Let's go through the big money ones, isn't it? Who these little man? Let's go. So Sterling.
Okay, so this is the
Tuchel
thing. So
or
then
Todd?
Sterling.
Tuchel or Todd?
I think
Chukwuemeka,
Tuchel wanted that one.
With who?
Tuchel, Sterling.
Yeah, Tuchel, yeah.
Sterling already come out.
Fofana.
That's Tuchel. That's
Tuchel. He lost Rudiger and Christensen. That's why he wanted Koulibaly and Fofana. It's obvious, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Although I think if there's anyone,
I think towards the end of that was more Todd flexing muscle on, because let's be honest, look how long that one dragged out. That one was literally again deadline day, and if it was that eager, remember Todd flew him to New York to do a medical.
Yeah, but they were trying to get him for less.
No.
Held firm, blood.
Yeah, but I think the fact that he flew him to New York, I think that was more for him than say Tuchel, because you could have probably did that medical here. The same medical.
I disagree. I think Tuchel was like, I need another defender. I've told you, go and get him, pay whatever the price is, and Todd went, all right, fuck it, I'll pay the 75, 80 million.
You know what,
But then for Tuchel to throw it back in Todd's face, like even though he spent all his dough, I think that's the reason.
And then they
for me
spent
personally,
20 million on Chukwuemeka, 20 million on the Aston Villa youth. I don't think.
Wait, go back.
So what? Todd knows about some Aston Villa youth, does he? Like Todd, the
20 million for him.
Wait, go back into Fofana. Yeah, if there's any one of those signings that Todd may have had an input on, it would have been Fofana, because
I think Fofana, because like I say, you flew him to New York to check that medical over with American specialists just to make there wasn't sure nothing was lingering. Big man, he finished the end of the season. You could have probably did that same medical here and it would have brought up the same results. I think that one 100% was more Todd than anything else, because none of the other players went. Koulibaly, I'm pretty sure he's had injuries. But just because my man had that mad injury, like I say, he came back and did the same thing. Like he played portion.
For me, like Todd, he wanted when he came in, he was talking about Neymar and CR. That's when OTC was getting gassed up. Like G-check, man, I was like, bro, you ain't getting none of these dons. You're talking about Neymar.
Because Todd come in and gassed him up. Bearing in mind, remember, this is Todd who come in and said for Chelsea, he wants to be given out 6-7 year contracts. He's trying to Americanize
he wants to build it.
So that's what I'm saying, Carl. That 280 million he gave to Tuchel, isn't it? But then Tuchel.
Let's look at some of these fees. Mark Cucurella, 60 million. You was bullied into paying that. Remember, City didn't want to pay no more than 40.
Yeah,
Raheem
Chelsea
Sterling
overpaid.
was a bargain. Koulibaly, 33.
But Tuchel wanted these players, bruv. That's my point.
No,
even though Chelsea overpaid.
Koulibaly, I will agree with. But like I say, as much as I like Fofana, I think that was more Todd than Tuchel, that one.
No, Fofana.
Carl,
I agree.
On the group chat, you and Dan were telling me Fofana's worth 100 million. I will.
No. Here's my thing. I think Fofana's worth the money. That's what I'm saying. But I think that was more a Todd signing than a Tuchel signing. So you got to think that's 75 million. Like I say, and all the extra things, you flew him to New York, private jet to do a medical.
I reckon because Tuchel was like, I told you we need defenders. I reckon it's because Tuchel. But I respect your opinion, man. We don't know, do we?
No, here's my thing. I'm saying that one signing, I think, was more Todd than Tuchel. Because like I said, you could have done the medical here, but you took such an invested interest in that one thing, you flew him to America to do his medical. Because even Sky Sports...
Because it was a deadline thing, isn't it? That's why.
We Gary, on this one, with regards to Todd flying out players, he was going to do that with a lot of our players in general. He was going to do that with Sterling. He was going to fly Sterling out to Greece and have a chat with him at his penthouse. There's a couple of more players that he was going to fly out anyway. It's just the case that logistically that could have happened. So Todd is always wants to have a close relationship with a lot of his players. It's completely different to Roman. Todd wants to, and this is why I say I agree with you with the Fofana one, because Todd wants to have a young player base, and he wants to develop these players and let them grow. That's why if there's any player out of the ones that we bought that I believe that Todd may have been a bit more pushy towards, it would have been Fofana because we were linked to
That's their biggest
Skriniar.
transfer as well.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
listen, OTC, you know the club better than me. I'm just going by what the man has physically said. And he was talking about Neymar and CR7. Those are not young potential players to build your club around. Those are ready-made stars that are statement signing. So
They seem
No,
thing
no,
with
you,
no,
know
that
your
Todd-
is,
club, you know your club better than me, blood. You know
one
what I
second,
mean?
you
But
see with that
I'm
one,
going
yeah,
on what the
I
man
think he
said.
was
The
looking
man named
more.
those players. Neymar, he named those. He
Yeah,
didn't
but
name.
he named like big stars, like in football. But like I say, I think he was looking at more like in American sports when you get them player and you franchise them players. You ain't going nowhere, man, slapping you with the franchise thing. Remember, he's coming from a baseball background where you get these man on big contracts, like 7, 8 years. So that's what I'm saying. I think the issue you have with him, but again, like I say, him not having football people around him is going to be a hindrance to him.
No, he does.
Yeah.
He does.
And the fact that
And
he's cleared
Tuchel
out
said
all
that.
the
Tuchel said that, bruv. Tuchel
No,
said
yeah,
he
because
said
no,
basically
no,
in
Todd's
an
got football
interview,
people.
Tuchel was basically saying he's still kind of like basically on lines of teaching him, which
But that's
again
what
I
I'm
think.
saying, boys. That's the point, and we'll move on after because we're going around in circles. I respect your opinion, my brothers, and whatever. Yeah, but my point is, at this level in business, like when you're that successful, no matter who that person is, they're still your employee, rude boy. You can't be
No,
letting
there
your
is,
tongue
and
go
I
like
agree with
that. You
that.
know, when I've like given you £250 million to spend this summer, don't start running your mouth, bruv, in public talking about me like that, blood. I own this motherfucker. You understand? You're an employee. You're expendable, and that's why he sacked him. There's no sensible reason why you would give someone £250 million and sack
Yeah,
them
but you
after
see,
one
the
game.
only pushback I have
But
on
the
that is
disrespect, if you're going to come out and start running your mouth, brother, and that tongue and talking about me, brother, I ain't going to take it. I own this thing, brother. I've got the keys to the castle, brother.
like I say, the only pushback I have on that is the fact that obviously it appears knee jerk, and a lot of people are of the opinion of they believe it was yesterday's because again, like I say,
It's
you
knee
came
jerk.
out.
It's obviously it's knee
You
jerk.
came out and said that obviously they've come out and basically said, "Oh, it's been kind of going on in the background, blah blah blah." But again, back end of August, you was talking about offering man a new contract.
They were. I remember that. I remember
That's
that
what I'm saying.
clearly. They
That's
were
why
going
I'm
to
saying
offer a couple man a
it
contract.
seems a bit iffy
Yeah,
that you
Scott Parker
went
was
from
never going to be sacked. But if you come
yeah,
out and you start talking about me, bruv,
Scott Parker's one though is because he was doing his every week. Like his was literally every week. Man was like, yeah, but we ain't got the thing. Like, and
but
I
have you
think
not
that's where
listened to Tuchel's post match like interviews? He's just slating everyone, the players, the club, the mentality. Like what
No,
I'm
the
trying to
players
say
deserve
is,
it, man. The players deserve it, man. They're pricks.
No,
yeah,
but I think
but
that club has also got a culture of obviously they're used to a revolving door. So I think for them it's just another one. That's what I think the issue
there is
comes
no
from.
sense to give man £250 million and then sack him one game after doing it. It does not make any business
It don't,
sense.
and I don't
So
think we'll
it's
ever really
obviously
find the
for other
truth.
reasons. It's obviously because there's something else that happened. Maybe we don't know. We'll find out.
No, that's what I'm
But
saying. We'll never probably find the truth to
for
that
me,
one.
I just think Todd's like, no. I'll give you £250 million. Don't start talking about me and the club like that. Do you understand?
But if we got to think about it. Roman wouldn't do. Roman is ruthless, but Roman wouldn't do this. Yeah, this
but
is
no one will talk.
stupidity.
No one will talk about him like that. OTC. That's the difference.
They
No
did.
one would ever
Mourinho
talk
did.
about Roman like that, blood.
Jose did. Jose did. And
What
Jose
happened?
he didn't
Jose
care.
won a double and got sacked 10 games later, bruv.
Yeah, 1 second. Di Matteo won the Champions League, had a bad start, got sacked.
Cut in blood. Ancelotti,
what
I'm a
did Avram
double.
Grant
Cut
win?
in blood. Conte, cut in blood. You can't talk about Roman like that,
No,
blood.
but Conte, the Conte was sacked when we were like in 11th place, and we were back into end of mid-year, halfway through the year. Jose was sacked the second time.
Who's the other Don you had that smoked?
Yeah, but you.
Sorry.
Sorry.
The season that you
Didn't he
sacked
go the
those
following
guys, you
season?
won the double the year before, bruv. You won the double. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So
these
What did
guys.
Avram
4
Grant
months
do,
after
though?
winning the double, you chop them, blood.
Avram Grant, my
Avram Grant's a caretaker. He's like, what's that guy,
Yeah, no,
man?
but then he got the permanent job. Did he win? Did you not win the Europa League under him?
No, that
So
was
he not won a trophy under him.
That was Rafa. Rafa helped us. No, it was Rafa and it was another person. Who? It was one when we were in the Arsenal. When we beat Arsenal. Who was it? Oh, who did we beat? Who was our manager? We beat Arsenal.
I can't remember. That's why. Was it
I
sorry?
can't remember.
Sorry, innit? Sorry, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
it was but
Yeah.
all in all, in terms of the new candidates, I don't want Potter, I don't want Pochettino, Botolacino, fam. I don't want that guy, fam. Yeah, with our players I want more than him, so I
So
don't want
who
that
would
prick.
you have in as manager, or who
Jose
would you want
Mourinho.
in?
Bring back
Whoa.
Jose. Fam.
So
That's the
what?
only guy I
So
trust. That's the only guy I
then
trust.
all you're gonna get. You know,
I don't
you
trust.
get if you do that is this. You just be seeing more of that.
Look with Jose. I
And
trust Jose.
boy, he's been relentless on your neck, boy.
Bring back Jose. I don't want.
He saved all his receipts.
I don't want
He
nobody
saved
else.
every receipt.
Yeah.
He did a G on you, you know. That's something G would do. Keep the receipts like that.
He can keep the receipts, but I want Jose Mourinho and nobody else, fam. Or
Yeah,
Don
but
Carlo.
OTC, that ain't happening, blood. Like, let's be real, innit, fam? It's between Potter and Pochettino, blood. So
And
What's
what
Zidane's
good,
in
man?
there.
Nah, fam.
Zidane's in there.
Listen, bring back what's that Dutch guy? Oh, what's that Dutch guy? The one with the glasses, the short one there.
Hiddink.
You know who you
Hiddink.
deserve?
Bring
You
back
deserve
Hiddink for the
Lampard.
rest of the year.
You deserve Lampard back at the bridge because you defended that guy, man. So you deserve him back there, bruv. Take him back, bruv.
Oh, imagine
Listen.
if you don't brought Frank back.
Nah,
Yeah, that's a mess.
respect Frank. Hold on. Respect
That's a
Frank
mess.
Lampard. Fam. Frank Lampard is Chelsea's all-time top goal scorer. Frank Lampard.
It's not about being a
I
player,
know,
blood. It's
and
about a manager.
one
It's not
second.
about being a player,
And
rude boy.
he also had you near the bottom when he got sacked. If I'm not mistaken.
No. He got sacked and we were like in 7th or 8th or something like that.
I was like, oh, I feel-
Arteta finished 8th twice and didn't get the sack. Yeah, and look at Thomas Tuchel, fam. Thomas Tuchel lost one Champions League game. Yeah, his ultimate Champions League game against Dynamo Zagreb.
His
Yeah.
100th
He
game
lost
in
a
charge
couple.
Chelsea.
He lost a couple of Premier League games, and then all of a sudden he's sacked.
I'll be honest, yeah. Do you think because they was talking about on TalkSport, they never actually broke it down completely, but it was basically saying obviously his first 50 games in charge, the defensive record was pretty solid. Then obviously the second 50, they were shipping like hella goals. Do you think because then Danny Murphy was like he was curious to know how many of them games in the second 50 was played without Kante compared to the first 50, which obviously had Kante. Do you think if Kante didn't sustain as many injuries as he had, do you think you would have been better off?
Yes, but that's not the reason why we lost those 50 games. But
No, I'm not saying that's the reason, but obviously his thing was factoring obviously the first 50 games, Kante played a lot of them. So he was just basically curious as to see what the defensive record without Kante was compared to the team with Kante in.
It did make a difference because you know why? Kante wasn't the main reason as to why we won or lost games. It wasn't really much down to Kante. He played really well, but the reason why we lost the one wasn't down to him. It was because of the wing backs, Chilwell and James. And as soon as they started breaking down over the last December, well, bearing in mind we had those two, and Kante was injured from November and October time. We were still top of the league.
Probably like as soon as September. So I'm trying to think, so there's what 2 months till pretty much the World Cup.
Yeah, but we were top of the league last year up until December time. But as soon as Reece James and Chilwell got injured, we that's it. We plummeted down the league. With those two.
But the OTC, like I sent on the group, the last 15 games, blood, it's a pattern emerging, isn't it? So
it's a bit like
that's why you spent 280 million. That's why you spent. You said it yourself. The players are dead. That's why you spent all that dough, fam.
Listen, there's nothing.
Hey, do you know who's going to be pissed? Was it Billy Gilmore who's gone Brighton? If you bring in Potter, man's going to be thinking, I could have just stayed at Chelsea at this rate. I come here for Potter. Now he's left me.
Listen, like
someone was saying Zaha seems to have dodged the bullet by not going because it would have been the second time he goes for a manager and the manager's not there.
They can get rid of that Scottish chimney sweeper, bro. I don't want that brother. Yeah.
So who is taking charge of your team? Is it Tuchel's coaches or is there coaches from like the under 23s or something that's taking over? I swear I see something about coaches basically stepping up.
Carl, you done said they're bringing out the dinner lady, Emma, bruv. They're bringing her out, fam. The dinner lady from the canteen.
I think she's a quality manager, personally. That's my personal opinion. But I think
The
she
dinner lady blood, like that. Giving extra custard to these men, bruv, in the canteen. She's gonna be leading out these niggas at Stamford Bridge, and when she does, you better OTC. I'm telling you, I'm tired tonight. But if that happens, you need to emigrate, bruv. Go. Honestly, bruv.
And show
Don't
you
ever
how
come
good
on
she
here again,
is.
bruv. Because if that Emma, bruv, she looks like a support teacher, dinner lady, like one of them ones. If she's leading out you in your
She's giving us
derby
more
against
custard.
Fulham, bruv, extra custard, bruv, on that crumble, like that, bruv. If she's leading you out, rude boy, no matter what happens to us, we will never hit that kind of low. You understand? We will never hit that low, bruv.
Listen,
and you will be finished, rude boy.
Honestly, yeah, I don't agree with Gary in anything he says. That's his views and his views only. It's not reflective of the whole show. But on interim wise, yeah, this is Todd Bowley's fault, fam. Todd Bowley, get your kit down and go back on the touchline and watch these players play for yourselves. Like these players, you have to think about it.
Chelsea's coaching staff will take charge of the team for training and preparation for our upcoming matches as the club swiftly moves to appoint a new head coach. Like, who are these coaches? Are they Tuchel's people, or is there just some random dons?
It's Tuchel's.
Like, is it like under 21s, under 18s?
It's Tuchel's.
Like,
what? So they sacked Tuchel but kept his coaches. Surely they just dropped them all, innit, or not?
Well, it says Chelsea's coaching staff.
OTC, Todd doesn't know what the brass he's doing out here, bruv. This man is just making it up as he goes along, bruv. Honestly. He's like my son playing Football Manager, blood. He doesn't know what he's doing, rude boy. You understand? He's
he's played Football Manager and he's now owns a team, and it's looking a hot mess. Because, like I say, who are these coaches?
Like what? Like I understand. Look, personally, I got GT asked me earlier on Marina and Czech. I understand that, like from that point, why you would get rid of those two?
Did he have to though? Was it because of this like all the what do you call it sanctions? Did he have to, or did he choose to? That's what I want to know.
On Marina, I think it was a bit sticky. I think Marina came with Roman, and I think she was very close to him on that point, and I think it was a bit sticky with Marina, and also Marina and Czech. There's a lot of like mismanagement of funds over the last 5-6 years.
We say man siphoning money out of the club.
Well, we've like a lot of the guys that were at our club on high wages and not playing were pretty much down to those two. A lot of the like players that come in and then 1 year later, Todd, bearing in mind like long contracts, he's looking at it thinking, hold on, you got Lukaku in, and you got rid of him after 1 year. You got what's his name, Diego Costa in, and after 1 year and a half, maybe 2 years, you got rid of him at all. Like nah, this is not work. And you put what high wages as well. Nah, Todd was like he weren't having it. Todd, I'm telling you, he's the opposite of Roman. Todd, in terms of his philosophy, Roman win. I don't care if these men are old. And our policy was anyone over the age of 30, we give them 1 year contracts only. Todd, yeah, he wants to buy, and including Graham Potter, he wants to get young personnel and putting them on long contracts and development over a long period of time. That's why I got Chukwuemeka, Fofana, that other goalkeeper from flipping Chicago. These men. That's why I got these men, yeah. He wanted a couple of statement signings to bring in the cash, but that's why he got a lot of these men. But with that mindset, why would you get rid of Thomas Tuchel? I think this
thing was, I would have respected it more if they had someone already lined up to just step straight in. But I think
who's better than Thomas Tuchel out there?
But here's my thing. That's what I'm saying. If I was them, I would have waited till I had someone lined up to step in. Because, like I say, you've got Fulham, then you got Champions League, then you got another league game, Champions League. The games are coming thick and fast, and it's European.
Which is why, boys, I said it's not footballing reasons. That's why you guys don't agree with me, but I'm telling you, it's not football reasons.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Obviously, there's other reasons. That's what I'm saying. I don't agree that I think there was a knee-jerk reaction to a degree. Like I say, you was talking about offering him a new contract, but obviously there's something going on behind the scenes that we'll probably never know. but it just, like I say, it just seems a bit of a weird one.
Let me just explain
Mate,
to you what
this you can't talk about your own. Like Tuchel recently has been talking, like criticizing the club about Czech, about he's just been like, basically, he's just been deflecting everything in it, like just not accepting responsibility.
No, he accepted blame yesterday.
From the interviews that I've seen, anyway, like he's
Champions League one, after the Champions League one, he included himself. He said they all kind of need to step up, himself included.
Yeah, but then he also was saying about how we don't have any football people. Petr Cech's gone. He knows the fabric of the club. Like you can't, bruv. Like you're an employee, rude boy. You're not the owner. You're not
He's
the
not
owner.
any employee. No. When it comes to certain employees, you got to like he's an extremely good asset, and even though he's a bit flagrant, and he has done during preseason when we lost to Arsenal, and they said, "Listen, we can't win with the same amount of dead ballers." Yeah, I personally believe that if you're gonna sack him and do a decision like this, yeah, you can't just go it on based on he hurt your feelings. You got, bro. Let me just explain to you our fixtures. I've got them up here. We've got Fulham on Friday, on Saturday. Yeah, on Wednesday next week we've got FC's Red Bull Salzburg. Then we've got Liverpool on the 18th. Then we're coming back from international break on the 1st of October. We're playing Crystal Palace, AC Milan,
and then AC Milan.
Yeah, but this is Todd. This is what we're saying. OTC. It's Todd. He doesn't know anything about football. He's made an emotional decision.
He's done this one here quickly, yeah, just to give him the international break. I reckon by the time the international break's done, you don't have a new manager.
We're playing 3 games before that. We're playing.
You're playing 3 games with someone else, and there ain't no manager in place.
And one of them is Liverpool. How are we supposed to beat Liverpool, Salzburg, Fulham, and then in November we got Man City, Arsenal.
This is what I'm saying. It's not a footballing decision, boys. It's not. It's a.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot more going on there.
He's taking it personally, OTC, about what Tuchel's been saying, and he's made an emotional decision to go, bun that guy, man. He's done. Because no one would ever give a manager $250 million then sack him a game later. It does not make any football sense at all, blood.
Yes, I think Tuchel punched him up like he was about to do with Conte. I think Tuchel went into the boardroom and said, "Listen," and pushed him up against the wall and about to smack him up. That's the only reason why. Tuchel is on smoke, fam. Yeah, and I'm here for it. And I was watching all videos today of Thomas Tuchel table tennis with Raheem Sterling, kissing the Champions League. Bruv, Todd, yeah, you pissed me off, bruv, today, yeah? You better come with someone. I'm talking.
Bruv, you were getting gassed on our group chat when Todd was at training, bruv, in his Vans, blood, and those baggy jeans, bruv. You were getting all gassed, bruv, going, look at our owner, bruv. It's a new dawn, bruv. Look what he's doing.
I know he's eating his words now, boy. Look at him.
No, honestly, this is the
Turn
worst
around,
thing
look at the wall when you're talking to us now, man, with your flip-flop, blood.
I've got flip-flops on, but in terms of like that, yeah, in terms of the worst thing that Todd Bowley could do, this is literally the worst thing you could do on paper. Thomas Tuchel is the right coach. These players, bro, these man, it's not like they're not trying for Tuchel. They're trying for Tuchel. They believe in Tuchel's system. It's just that they can't. They're just shit. Like Hakim Ziyech lost the ball about 23 times yesterday. What is Thomas Tuchel supposed to do? What, like, I'm thinking to myself, if you bring in Graham Potter, like, what is the point of bringing a guy who can play attacking possession football without players that can't kick the ball, can't shoot ball in the back of the net? What is the actual point? Like we might as well have Danny Welbeck up front, big man thing. Like, what is the point now? Yeah, and Havertz here and these men there. These men are lucky, you know, because I swear to God, Thomas Tuchel was protecting Havertz and protecting Mount. Yeah, and Lukaku's coming back as well next year. Flipping hell, I just clocked it.
Honestly, you're cutting all these players, yeah, but like for the last 2 years, you've been telling they won the Champions League, and you know what I mean, brother. Like, now you're just like honestly outing them all, bruv. Shameless, bruv. You are.
But let's give OTC the last 20 seconds before I end the broadcast. So go on, OTC. Tell us who you really want to come in before I end it.
Listen,
that dinosaur.
Option one, Jose. Option 2, flipping Don Carlo. Option 3, Zidane. Option 4, Gus Hiddink for the rest of the season. I'm out, fam. Yeah, I don't want.
No. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, I'm out, fam. I'm out.
Yeah.
Salute, boys. Salute, bro.
Salute.
I'm up, bruv. Yeah, I'm pissed, bruv. My head's gone. Yeah,